blood volume recovery study of coho salmon for the purpose of determining how much weight to add to compensate for weight loss after bleeding. Some fishermen choose not to bleed their fish, believing the loss of blood will appreciably reduce the overall weight of their catch. For a better quality food product, all fish should be bled immediately.
So what are we doing here?
Well, we're at Wedgeboro Point. We're going to do a blood volume study on this is a 8-pound coho, 7-pound coho, and we're now going to cut the gill into this dry bucket and see just how much volume of blood these fish carry to determine how much one should be deducting for weight on a bled fish. So we'll give that a couple of minutes of bleeding and see what we come up with. Okay, so this fish has been bleeding for about 10 minutes now, I guess, and it's pretty well done by the looks of things. It's all coagulated, and that's typically about as the amount you'd get out of there because it's all coagulating now. So there's no more fluid blood coming out of them. So I'm just going to try and get off there what I can in the way of blood. All right. Let's see down in the throat here. You know, there's a bit of coagulated blood, but that's staying on the fish now at this point. In fact, I'll even try and get a little bit of that out of there for argument's sake. So that's it. So now we're going to take and blot out all of this blood. There's the amount of it there. I'm going to say this is going to probably have the same density as water, which is 1 gram per cc, and there's probably only about maybe about 50 or 70 cc's of fluid in there. That bucket was right dry before we started.
Yeah, that's like in real terms, it's probably...
So there we go. In the bottom of this cup, it is right...
Let's see.
Well, it's about ½ an inch worth of fluid in there.
Okay. Point it towards the camera there a little so we can see the bottom of the cup, or drop it down a little bit lower. Yeah. Okay.
All right, your standard solo cup.
Yeah.
We'll do a calculation on the weight of it when we get back to town with my accurate gram scale, but it's right to that level there, about ½ an inch worth. And basically, you know, it's pretty clean in the pail there. I'll try and get the last little bit of it and see what addition that makes to the volume. But so there we go. So we just have bagged another coho, and we're going to give him he's been clubbed, which basically just knocks him unconscious. Just for the record's sake, this fish looks like about 9 pounds, just under 10. But so right now the fish has been knocked unconscious. The heart's still pumping because it's an involuntary muscle. What we're going to do is use this ikijimi method. The brain, we know from an earlier dissection, is about 3/4 of an inch aft of the eye. We stick it right in on center.
Let me get in there for a close up there. Okay.
Stick the spike in right on.
Hang on a sec.
And watch him flinch here.
Wait a sec. There we go. Okay.
Maybe and we just destroy the brain, which kills the fish instantly, rather than just stunning it, and it shuts down a bunch of metabolic stuff in the fish. You can usually tell you've got the brain because it'll flinch and kind of do the funky chicken on you, but this guy is not. So that's that. So now we're going to do the old cut the gills again, and maybe you want to zoom in on this here. So that procedure, so the heart. Okay, here's test number 2. This is with that 9-pound coho, and it's been bleeding for about 10 minutes. It's no longer bleeding any fluid, a few coagulated chunks of blood there. Let's see, I'll try and scrape what I can out of his throat just for argument's sake. There's a piece of coagulated blood, but that's pretty well it. There's no more liquid coming out of that fish. It's been bled for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to put him in this tub where it's clean, Damien, just so there's no other blood in there from that other fish. It's all virtually clean in there, so that guy's no longer bleeding. So here we go with the full extent of what was bled from this fish after 10 minutes. It's all starting to coagulate. So, and that was a dry bucket to start with, so we'll just see what we get here. And I'll wipe the rest of that out with this little piece of tissue and scrape that off into the cup. So that bucket is pretty well clean. There's a little bit of coagulated stuff on this, but that tissue is pretty well clean. So this one is about ½ an inch down from that ridge. So there's probably about maybe 3/4 of an inch in the, yeah, 3/4 of an inch maximum in that cup, right to that level there. So again, I'll weigh that back at the shop and we'll conclude this.
Conclusions. The weight of blood is essentially the same as water. The two volumes, ½ inch and 3/4 inch of water, were later weighed on a commercial digital scale in the same cup. From the 7-pound fish, 60 grams or 2.1 ounces were recovered. From the 9-pound fish, 70 grams or 2.5 ounces were recovered. Yet unstudied, but the trend from this data might indicate that the blood from a fish as large as a 40-pound Chinook salmon might equal about 1/3 of a pound.